Welcome back, everybody, to Total Nonstop Impact Talk for Impact fans right here on the YouTube and the Twitch and wherever you get your podcast audio worldwide, baby. We are here to talk about the what month is this? August 15th. The August 15th episode of TNI. But before we dive into things, let me introduce you to the rest of the crew. To my left, you're right, we've got Mr. Front Row Bill. How you doing tonight?
Doing very well, J-Bone. Hello.
Good. And down here yonder, we've got TNI's Lady Satan herself. She is Alisha. How you doing? She's throwing up the horns.
Good. I'm good. I'm just hanging out with Olivia.
And who is Olivia?
Olivia is this old lady.
Pretty girl.
Babysitting. Temporary. We're just babysitting.
Very nice.
Cat sitting.
It is the podcast where you never know you're going to get some cats or a cat tushy across your screen. My
Total Nonstop Cats.
That's right. And we even had some merch made that had some cats on it a couple of years ago. It's still in the store. If you're ever curious, go check out those links. Excuse me. Go check out our sponsor. Going to get the housekeeping out of the way first. That way I know I won't forget it later. We're talking about our Manscaped. We love our Manscaped. Always coming out with new products to trim whatever part of your body you need trimmed and looking nice for whatever situation you got coming up.
Get those last minute barbecues in.
Yeah, there we go. That's right. Get everything trimmed up, looking nice for the last minute, last summer, the parties of the summer. Code TNI for 20% off and free shipping. One of the best damn deals you're ever going to get, folks. Go check that out and the rest of the links in the description of the video. And as we start this off, you know what to do. Smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications. Well, folks, shall we dive into some TNI, TNA news?
Yeah, we can do a little bit of that with our front row cat in attendance.
Nice.
They heard the rumors are true. J-Bone's news coming right at you.
Ew.
And your cats.
Jiminy Christmas.
No. For humans and felines, it's J-Bone's the only place for news.
Searching for my fake wrestling news.
No fake wrestling news here. Right in line with the bits in the Twitch. Thank you very much, sir. One other piece of housekeeping I wanted to discuss with you guys and our lovely TNI audience. Occasionally we get these letters from Streamlabs about sponsors. And it looks like some of the sponsors that we get, some look like they might be a fit. Some look like I don't think they'd be a very good fit. A lot of them have to do with games. I'm not a big gamer, but I'm all about promoting, something that looks fun and entertaining, depending on, what you like. So my question, and I know we don't have a ton of Twitch people here, and this goes
Team
for
Twitch.
you. This goes for YouTube too. Are you guys interested in checking out new games if we start, getting sponsors for games and such, and stuff you do on your PC typically? Let us know, and if the answer is yes, let us know what kind of games you like, so that if an opportunity comes up for us to get a sponsor, that we know we're going to get a decent response out of this. So just something I wanted to throw at you guys. So
about the game.
Right. And especially
if you're watching later, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, leave in the comments. Yeah, either YouTube or Twitch. Let us know.
Hit the social media.
Yeah, hit us up.
All the gamers.
Yeah, because you never know what people like outside of wrestling,
That's
true.
Yeah, like we
never know.
Well, Alicia's in a gaming household over there.
Yes.
This is true.
What's the current game of choice?
I am switching between The Sims 4 and Baldur's Gate 3. Hold my headphones out. And Stefan is kind of playing Cyberpunk and a couple other things.
Okay. So are any of those on your PC, or
they're both on PC?
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Gary,
there we go, Gary.
Of course, being the community smartass, says Atari 2600.
Hey, nothing wrong with the Atari 2600, J-Bone.
Oh, hey, that's what I grew up on. That was my first gaming system. Yeah.
You never saw E.T., but you loved the game on Atari. You're the one.
Never played it. Never played it, sir. Although
it's before my time.
I never played that. I was a big fan of Dig Dug. And the occasional Pac-Man. I love Joust, Defender. Yeah, I had a handful of games that I played a lot of. Okay, yeah. Here it is. Keep that one up there. RPG games like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Final Fantasy, etc. Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a wide variety of stuff.
There's something for everybody.
There is. I mean, like I was going down the list of stuff that was list of the sponsors. There's a zombie game in there. There's stuff that looks like Final Fantasy. It kind of looks like
mobile games.
No, this is all stuff like.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah. What's the popular one that was everybody was advertising it? Raid was a big one.
Raid Shadow Legends or something?
Yes. Especially loved it when Ali from Wrestle Talk would talk about Raid Shadow Legends. It's like, oh my God, I gotta check this out. Then I'm downloading it, and like halfway through downloading it, I'm like, what am I doing? He just made it sound cool. Like, I don't play this. Love Ollie. Anyways, Superman. Yes, thank you, Gary.
Well, Gary, what's Superman? Like Superman? Was there a Superman on Atari? I know there was Superman on Commodore 64, but is he talking like later? Like, because I think one of the worst rated games ever is like Superman on N64.
Oh.
That's cool.
I don't know which was.
Missile Command is amazing though. Love that one.
That's a classic.
Elder Ring is a PC game too, and a great. Okay, all right.
There you go. So
yeah,
lots of good games, and there is a crossover. We know in the community, Atari. So I don't think I played Atari Superman, but I was the end of Atari, like because we did have an Atari. Very briefly, I remember playing some of the games, and then it went to the Sega Entertainment System.
Okay.
And then Nintendo.
Cool. Bill, would you be interested in playing any of those games? Or do you, like, I know you go to the occasional wrestling show.
I must admit, J-Bone, I was a big gamer back in the day.
Okay.
My Sega Genesis days are something to behold.
Oh, nice.
But I was even in some competitions back then. But I was big in gaming probably till like through middle school, maybe right at the beginning of high school.
Okay.
But then, as you know, life happens, J-Bone, and it becomes tougher to focus on things like video games.
Yeah,
take that for what you will. And so I do not have much of. I do still have some systems, but I rarely have time to play them. I'd like some more time to play them, but I really don't give myself a lot of free time to play. But I would like to. I would like to. I keep thinking about it.
Gotta have a gamer day.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh,
Sometimes you just got Tecmo Bowl. Oh, see, now I like the one that came after that. It was Tecmo Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. That was good as well. Yeah.
That one had
classics.
Some of the greatest characters in the characters. I mean, like players, like legit football players. Like the Packers were so, but like Bo. What's the famous?
Bo Jackson ruled that game.
Bo Jackson.
Like Bo Jackson was the cheat code. If you had Bo Jackson, you won every game.
And well, here's the thing.
If you always played with Bo Jackson, you were cheating.
Here's the thing. When I played, and I don't know if this was a glitch in the game or if this was just like the game keeping you humble or what. I would play as Bo Jackson, 1,000 touchdowns, just ridiculous amount each game. And then all of a sudden, about halfway through the season, boom, injured. Every single season I played. And then you get him back, and he'd be back for a while, boom, injured again. I'm like, are you serious? That game, like, I loved that game, but it was also very frustrating.
Very frustrating. I never get classics.
Super Mario Brothers. Hell
yeah.
Super Mario.
Good stuff. Okay. You guys keep leaving your ideas about games and stuff in the chat. We're going to continue. We got some news to talk about. For those of you who were looking for our usual, more usual lately, we've been in the habit of doing it each Tuesday, talking about TNA happenings in the world of WWE's NXT. It was just one of those nights. Not a ton happened, so I'm like, for what happened, I didn't feel like going live that night. I'm like, we'll just save it for the news piece Thursday. So here we're going to talk about it a little bit. So for those of you who have been watching TNA for a while now, the name of Ethan Page. Well, he is the NXT champ right now, and Joe Hendry came out to challenge him. And all was going well until Wes Lee, yes, the same Wes Lee who turned on his rascal brothers, attacked Joe Hendry in the ring.
Wait, whoa. I missed a couple weeks, didn't I?
Yeah, there was some stuff that happened lately.
Betrayal in the Rascals camp?
Wesley, yes.
Shot.
Wesley turned on. Yes, there is no more. Well, as far as like the three, I mean, the Rascals are still the Rascals. It's just Wesley is not.
He's not part of the club anymore.
No.
You're out of the treehouse, brother.
Yeah, he smoked some bad stuff and went crazy on him.
Well, at least we got a reunion.
It was brief.
You know what we did, and it was some great storytelling.
Absolutely,
it really was. So yeah, Wesley attacked Joe Hendry, and Pete Dunne also came out to the ring to throw his proverbial hat into the ring for this bunch. And so next week we are getting a number 1 contenders match, Wesley versus Pete Dunne versus Joe Hendry, and the winner will face Ethan Page at, I believe it's No Mercy.
I think that is the next one, No Mercy, yes.
And that's going to be a big pay-per-view show out in, is it Colorado, I think?
I think you're right, J-Bone. Feels like it's in that area.
In my other podcast, one of the guys I podcast with, Max, he just moved from Texas back out to Colorado, and he's been talking about that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it.
Denver, yes. Denver.
Yeah. Denver, yes. Oh, don't call him Butch. That's just cruel. He no like the Butch. So yeah, are you guys gonna tune in next week and check out this triple threat?
For NXT?
Got to, J-Bone.
No.
No. Or are you gonna wait till we talk about it?
Well, we've been over this. I have limited TV time during the week to begin with, and TNA is my televised wrestling product of choice.
I got you. Well, we will inform you as to what happens.
Thanks. I'll tune in on what, Tuesday?
Tuesday, yeah. Tuesday.
Okay.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Be there too, guys.
There you go. What else is happening? I found a reason to watch more Explosion from TNA. I hadn't watched much since it had been brought back, and as we heard from the last tapings, there were some folks from NXT in the tapings, and we saw some today, and we'll get to that. And that's right, NXT TNA Tuesday nights. That's right. It's got a flow to it, doesn't it? But I saw a match. It was Macklin versus a guy that formerly was a part of NXT. He had been recently let go like a few months ago. And his name was, I believe his name in WWE NXT was Zion Quinn. He's a big guy. And
I'm familiar.
He'd been around for a few years. He's got the Samoan tattoos. And I tell you what, it wasn't like the best showing for someone like Zion, but because, it's basically giving the kid it's kind of like it looked like a tryout match, kind of, just to see how he would react to like a beat down from Macklin. And it wasn't a squash match by any means.
No.
It was a decent match. Zion Quinn did get some offense in. It wasn't perfect, but I feel like if people keep working with Zion, even though people are like, well, he was there for 5 years. Well, you know what? Sometimes it takes a while to, make a diamond,
Or sometimes like it all depends on the platform. Sometimes people, we've seen it here. People that didn't do much with opportunities up there, they go to TNA and they become big stars.
They thrive.
Like and not just people that didn't have opportunities, people that bad gimmicks, bad opponents, like just not meshing with angles they had. So yeah, no, that's I know you even brought it up in the Discord, J-Bone, the random J-Bone Discord appearance.
Yeah. Oh my God, J-Bone's in the Discord. Yeah, I don't go in there as often as I should, but I did watch it, and I did throw the question out there to the audience in the Discord, like, hey, what do you think of this guy? So yeah, and I'm asking you guys, number one, did you see it? Number two, what did you think of Zion? Do you want to see a guy like him stick around in TNA? Let us know.
Australian fella, Zion as well.
He is
international.
He is. Always good to get more international appeal on the show, because God knows TNA is always going after international talent. All right, some positive, some yeah, I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was decent. I thought it was solid. But let me know what you think, And
I need to find my Pop TV little hand board that says solid.
Okay.
Just have that ready for next time J-Bone drops a solid.
Solid. Did he say solid? He said solid. Did either of you see the match? Bill, Alisha?
Well, I did see the match, J-Bone. It was so I did see the match.
Okay.
But I was impressed. I think you might even see him again. So I think obviously when
you
you're
were
in
there.
Florida,
I'm sorry.
but no, he does have a presence. Like, he looks like a guy that looks like, that's a wrestler. Like, he doesn't look like a dude, which a lot of wrestlers look like. He's the opposite of looking like a dude. He looks like a badass. Like, he's got good height. He's got a good build. Obviously no promo or anything to hear from him. So that could be a guy, if they want to do something, maybe that's a manager, valet type situation. But that would not be bad. Like right now, do we have many menacing badasses just kind of lumbering around? Just like the beat up, we had some good runs from guys like W. Morrissey and obviously Big Joe Doring. I think there is an angle where we could definitely have a big hoss like that doing some stuff. Probably initially as part of a team, a stable, something like that, as opposed to kind of the solo. That would probably cover up as you try to do something with him going forward.
Right. Yeah.
But there's potential there. There's definitely potential there.
Absolutely.
Because that's half the battle. But sometimes you don't hit it. Like we've been saying it, I've been saying it for a long time here. Shira. Everything about Shira should make him a star in this company.
Oh, absolutely.
But they just never run. I think it's got to be the heel, but not a comedy type heel. He's got to be just a badass heel causing havoc. He's got to be the one jumping people out back. Not just goofing off with Raj. He's got to be doing his own thing.
Yeah. And
just be heavy for somebody.
I think he was one of those guys where every time he'd get an opportunity, all of a sudden, boom, he's injured again.
And that is part of the issues. And that happens to a lot of these big guys. They do seem to get injured maybe more often sometimes. And that does definitely slow down. Injuries are going to be a big issue. Probably some guys would have had major careers, but bad timing with injuries for sure.
Right. Yeah. Everyone goes through their own thing. And some people have a hell of a career, barely any injuries, and you never know. Mr. Punk with a super sticker. Thank you. Appreciate you. Also in the live reaction, thank you as well.
Oh, and there's a little from Mayor giving us a little knowledge on Zion.
There we go.
He was a former rugby player, which seems to be if you're an athlete out there, there's a good chance you played rugby. I know even on my Philadelphia Eagles, our starting left tackle wasn't even a football player. He was a rugby player that they taught how to play football, because they're that guy is 6'7", 320 pounds. Let's teach that guy how to block people. And it's worked out. He's a Pro Bowler. But that's like an athlete's an athlete. Like that is the one thing I will give. And hey, not a knock, because indie wrestlers can develop into some of the best wrestlers going in the industry today. But there's something about finding athletes and molding them a style, a way. Like, don't learn the bad habits. Just focus on a TV promotion, which is not a bad thing, because you look at it, some of the biggest stars that we've seen over the last handful of years never were indie wrestlers. They were manufactured by companies.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, one company that right now is working with TNA.
Right, yeah. And
who knows? Obviously, with Jordan Grace, with Joe Hendry, obviously they have lots of indie experience, but I think that's the same thing. This is a developmental, like it's true developmental right now. But it's also storylines back and forth. We've been talking about this the last couple of weeks on the show, both on Tuesdays and Thursdays, that people want to say, well, who's getting the short end? Who's getting this? And you can be like, oh, all right, maybe a bigger name goes here versus here. But looking at the results and the storyline, it seems like a very equal and fair partnership right now.
Right. I'm just seeing here, there have been some.
Oh, there's match announcements, J-Bone. A lot of Emergence news. Is J-Bone's news going to turn into Emergence news?
We are Emergence.
Emerge into these developments, J-Bone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're just.
I was waiting for it.
We're just making up words in the English language now. All right, so come to find out now, we have I'd like to assume this is going to be the main event of Emergence. Don't quote me on that, but
I would imagine it would be, J-Bone.
It probably will be. Yeah, we have an hour-long Iron Man match. Been a while since we had one of those. Was that a year ago?
Yeah, like an official Iron Man or Iron Woman match.
Something like that.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah, and it's one you can't have like all the time. But when we do get them, they are special. So we've got Josh Alexander getting a rematch for today. You know, he could have had 5 more minutes tonight. No.
No, that heel.
Still going after that TNA World Championship of Nic Nemeth. So, very cool to see that.
So now, chat, commenters, how many matches do you think will be on this card? If you know you got an hour-long match rate already, this is probably going to be, a 6-match card?
Maybe, I mean...
It might be less. It might be 5. Like, it ain't going to be your typical 8-match card. It
no.
Unless there's going to be some short matches. and not every title will be on the line, which we know by the other match announcement.
Right. Yeah, we got more stuff to report here. We're going to have a 6 knockout tag team match. Jordan Grace and Spitfire versus Ash by Elegance and Alisha. It took me a second. Sorry. Alisha Edwards.
Wait, did you say Ash by Elegance?
Yes.
I like that her shirt is tie-dye.
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 I had to go with that. My second TNA tie-dye shirt.
That
it
is,
goes
when I
good
saw
with a nice
Ash and tie-dye, I'm like, I'm sold.
sold. It goes good with the white vest too.
Yes, that's good with the white vest.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that, I mean, and it's all stuff that's going to lead up to title matches down the line. So I don't mind seeing matches like this, you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, we're seeing there's a storyline for it. Like we were seeing they're working together. Like there's an angle. And obviously it's still very much Jordan and Ash as the main feud for the Knockouts title. So, like, you look at it, like, there's been ever since Ash came here, like, this is long-term storytelling, J-Bo.
It is, and
you love to see it in the Knockouts division.
I absolutely appreciate that. Alisha, do you have the same feeling about that? That they haven't like rushed things with her? It's been like a slow journey.
They let her build in. Like I said, I'm excited now that she's getting more matches with the permanent roster.
Right.
Because that's for me where it counts. So
right.
Yeah, I think it's good. Because I mean, think about it. We always complain. Not everybody, but there's always a lot of commotion whenever someone comes new, hot right into a company and gets fast laned right to the belt,
Yeah.
We've
talked about that a lot. TNA is infamous for that. Yeah, like, look, Aries is back. Oh, wait, 5 minutes later, he's the world champ. What?
yeah, it's...
Although under new management, it feels like that's been slowed down. Now, there was a TNA era of that, and I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen because every company is going to happen occasionally. But like, they didn't rush. Like, everyone thought Nic Nemeth was going to win that world title at Rebellion, and he didn't. They waited a little longer. He got it, but they did wait a little longer.
Fair.
And obviously, Joe Hendry. The commenters, the what we heard, they all thought he was winning at Slammiversary. It didn't happen. Like, no one really thought it was going to happen the way it did with Nick winning at Slammiversary. So, but for talking about that Knockouts match, and here's I don't recall seeing in the chat before Ivan Woods here. There should be some stipulation added to the 6 knockout tag match. Any thoughts on that? Should there be a stipulation? Because we've seen some violence from Ash, a dark side coming out of her lately.
No.
Okay. And we know Lish she'll get you.
Give them some light tubes. Let's go.
Ooh. Let's bypass the tax. Let's bypass the kendo sticks and the chairs. Let's go straight for the light tubes.
Now, critical. Now, as he says, because there was a glaring omission because the guy in his first match, Ali, had won the X Division title. But he thinks that worked, and I agree. Like, that was done the right way, and he had this whole. That was his thing. But there was a lot of vignettes. There was a build. Even though he wasn't on, like, in matches, he was being debuted as a really big deal. And then that, for the X Division, it did bring a lot of eyes. So I am in agreement. And that's usually why past management and all would put a title right on somebody to get eyes, viewers. Like, every company is victim to this. Yeah. But there definitely was a time where TNA was, and there's I won't name names, but there's been companies in recent memory that do this as well. Like, to try to get ratings, they do things to try to pop ratings. May not work long term, and that's usually what happens. You'll get a short bump, and then no one cares. You got to do it right.
Sometimes a certain division needs a shakeup. So you can't do it all the time, but once in a while, it's like, oh, look at what if it creates a buzz from a certain individual that does have some buzz about them, positively, like, oh, so and so is a free agent. Sometimes you got to take advantage of stuff like that. It's that's good business.
Good business.
Plus, I think fans were like really excited to see a guy like Ali just get a really good opportunity and just show off his talents, promo wise, in the ring, just killing it. I mean, his
character work is important.
Yeah, it is. It is, And after a bunch of failed stuff in the WWE, the fact that he just came booming on the independent scene with this, the big, political Yahoo and stuff. It worked for current times, so you can love them or love to hate them or whatever, it's either way, it's working if people are talking about it and watching.
And especially with a guy like that, you saw, because obviously he was a heel for the whole time, but he mainly got mixed the face reactions most of the time.
People were just excited to see him.
Exactly. So you have to plan on that. You have to know coming in, this is what type of reaction he's going to get. So do you just embrace, like most companies will, and just go, you got to be a face when you debut because everyone's going to cheer for you anyway. They got a creative way of building him heelish, but knowing he would still get a majority of the crowd behind him.
Right.
So then you got to do those shenanigans to get the crowd to boo you during a match.
Shenanigans. Anything else? I don't think I'm seeing any.
I think that's it for matches that have been declared.
Okay. We talked about Bound for Glory last week, right?
Yes.
Okay. And there has been some information that has come out about the show as far as packages and such. You can go to the website for that. I'm not going to go over all that. But yeah,
all kinds of goodies.
Yeah, and that is certainly something that's going to absolutely round out the rest of the year. People have been
Detroit
really looking forward to that. Yeah, Detroit, look out. Here they come. So,
happy birthday to Ingrid, who was a big contributor to chat in our over at the TNI life. Don't know if she may still be listening there, but not commenting as much. But she is out there.
She's awesome.
Yes. Yeah. Happy birthday, because she obviously is a big. Like, if you don't know her, like, you've seen her. If you don't know her, you've seen her. She's making sure a lot of things are going right there at ringside and making sure it looks right on TV and all that. So she's the go-between behind the scenes and everyone.
She's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Greatest of all time, for sure.
She's always running around grabbing people's gear after entrances, hyping people up behind the cameras. Just, she's one of the hardest. I mean, for all the shows I've been to in Chicago and having the pleasure of like sitting somewhere relatively close to her and watching her work along with everything else going on, I could say she is absolutely one of the hardest working people in that company.
No doubt.
So the post from Johnny Bravo was cute though, because he like tagged her in the thing. He's like, okay, now don't go to her page and blow up her page, because then she'll come back to me and she'll kick my ass. But that was really cool. So I feel like there's like one last thing, but if I think of it later, I'll there were some people that passed away in the entertainment industry. I won't mention them all, but a lot of people were talking about Afa. Now, Afa, it had been rumored that Afa had passed away. That is the brother of Sika, uncle to Roman Reigns. Apparently, he has not passed away yet, according to one of his kids. But we're keeping the family in our thoughts and prayers, sending them positive vibes, whatever you feel like. So, but yeah, that's about it. So let's dive into this week's episode of TNA. This is August 15th, 2024. Starting out hot here with an Ultimate X qualifier. We got a couple of these in the show tonight. And some new faces. Really, some new faces. And I tell you what, this is why I love TNA, folks. you can go into watching a match like this and you're like, oh, so-and-so's going to win. Oh, why am I even watching this match? Because so-and-so's going to win. Never
You gotta
assume. I say it a billion times. Never assume, because I'm guilty. I'll say it here first. I am guilty. I looked at this match and I was like, oh, boom, he's going to win. Look at the other match. Oh, boom, he's going to win. This person's going to win. This person, this person's going to take the pin. No, you just throw that garbage out the window and just enjoy the match for what it is, because we got some surprises.
It's not paint by numbers booking at TNA. Like, obviously you have storylines and then stuff will go certain ways, but they'll surprise you just as much as not. Like, there was like one time where I had a pretty good record of predicting things. The bracket brawl, which I won years ago. But like since then, like I don't care who you are. Obviously the TNI podcast here follows this stuff pretty closely. But that doesn't mean you're going to get it right, because they can always surprise you. And obviously with now working with another promotion, many things can, and we see, because we saw what was last week, what was it, Chen, right? He was in there from NXT. So so once we saw multiple NXT performers in this tournament, somebody was going to qualify, at least one.
Yeah.
Because that you have to at that point. And then obviously you have tag team champions in there. So that's probably what you're referring to. But they're probably going to have a tag title match. But if not, former, just like last week when we were talking about it, like if you're a former X Division champion, if there are tag team titles, but they're both X Division champions. So a very good chance they could qualify for a match like this, especially if you're not going to have a title match at the pay-per-view. But it seems like they will.
Right. So, Alisha, what did you think of Bay versus Chris Bay versus John Skyler versus NXT's Riley Osborne?
To put it simply, I'm upset. Not upset, but disappointed that Chris Bay didn't get the win on this.
See,
I'm biased though, so I can't really go too far on that. Yeah. It was what it is. Energetic opening to the show. Can't beat that.
Right. But yeah, what'd you think about Chase Hughes, Riley Osborne, Bill?
You know what? I really have only seen him a little bit. Like I know the gimmick Chase Hughes. I've been, like I said, I've been down to NXT a few times, and that was over. Like but the U and I did see the guy that leads that went like on the indies a couple times before he had that character. But I had not seen this guy obviously prior really much. So I obviously that's one of the most over gimmicks down at the Performance Center. Like the fans like are all over the Chase U gimmick. So having that, obviously with him being victorious and going to Emergence, I think that's like now you got people going, hey, there's gonna be Chase U shirts in that audience. I'm thinking.
Yeah, a lot of
there's gonna be a lot of
yeah.
Now here we go, even Bonus Baby getting in there. Give me a C, give me an H, give me an A, give me an S, give me an E, give me a U. What's that spell? Chase U.
What's that spell?
Hey. And but obviously athletic, like he seemed like a natural fit for the X Division too.
He did, and he brought a lot
so
of
he might get a big spot or two in that match. So
no doubt.
And that's obviously like the first time we saw Ace Austin. Like it was like a big spot off a structure years ago. So that can definitely make its mark. Yeah, I think Swag fan, I wanted Bay to win, but I don't think he needed it. I don't mind it. And that's kind of the same way I feel. Like he, based on everything, you're like, okay, Bay probably should win this, but he didn't need it. He's a tag champion. He didn't have to win this match.
Right. It was, I'll say this, it was also good to see John Skyler again. Not every
The return. It was a good hands night.
It was. It really was. It was great to win or lose. Great to see him. And
I'll talk more about John Skyler. I teased a story last week on the show, but as we go further on, I'll go more into it because I didn't want to possibly reveal anything until it aired on television. But I told you, I think John Skyler may be listening to the podcast right now. And if so, good work, John.
Yeah.
Even though I like to boo you.
That is one thing I will always give John Skyler credit for is working because he's been around. Oh, yeah. This is not some kids like, well, who is this guy? The guy's been wrestling for a long time. I forget how many years, but it's like, you can call him a veteran in the business. And the fact that he's working with an up and comer like Jason is great. I've always complimented him on that. Thought that was
I think we're seeing some development because we'll talk about it later with Jason.
Yeah, we will.
Match, but he even gets on the microphone here, and that was like one of the things we hadn't seen the whole time. Right,
and the thing is, I don't think everyone's able to do that. Some people do it. It just there's some people that are better than others.
Most people thought Josh couldn't talk because Ethan took all the stage, and part of that could be like, hey, build your way up to it. But as soon as Ethan left, he gave Josh the mic, and he ran with the mic.
Oh, he did.
Like we already knew he was good in ring, but he can cut a great promo, Josh.
Yeah.
Like he's heart and soul guy. Now Jason Hotch, eventually you just got to give an opportunity and go sink or swim. But very good start. Very good start.
Yeah. Yeah. The Good Hands had a rough couple of years, but I feel like the rest of 2024 going into 2025 is going to be good for them. I think,
Good for these hands.
Yes, these hands. Next, this was fun. I'm not a car guy, but I always appreciate, hot rods and stuff like that. Sport, sports cars and such. Gia Miller walks up to this silver. Now, someone in the chat's got to know what kind of car this was. Yeah, because I'm like I said, I'm not a car guy, but I want to know. I'm just curious. What is it? Be like, oh, that's a Lamborghini or whatever. It's couldn't tell you. But Nic Nemeth gets out of the car looking like $1 million, looking like a champ. And that is one thing. I think I said this on the live reaction. I said that is one thing about Nic Nemeth. He always shows up. He always, no matter what part of the show or for a match or whatever, the guy always looks like $1 million. Never comes on the show like, ooh, someone had a rough day. It's like some people look like they just like rolled out of bed. I'm not gonna name names because I love them all, but he always looks like a
critical
$1 million.
Saying pretty sure that was a Corvette. In Florida, that would make sense. A lot of Corvettes in Florida.
Could be. Yeah, it's just it was a different color too because it was like a charcoal gray. It was different. Usually you see like a cherry red or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, so Gia Miller's talking to Nic Nemeth and getting ready for his title match. And the cutest part of this was, Nick goes on about his way. Gia's standing there, and you could tell she's looking down, like behind her, like checking out the car, like ooh,
nice ride,
right? And I think I said something like, it's a rental.
It's a rental.
It's a rental. So, All right, then we got Santino in the ring. Santino's been busy lately, Bill. He really has been.
I felt like we didn't see much Santino. Now we're getting a lot of Santino.
He calls out, he was really upset about what happened at the wedding and such, and what happened with Pico and Steph. And he calls down Matt Qdoba.
Mid Cardona.
Santino's just a treasure. He's like the R-Truth of TNA,
He's always a laugh.
He is. He's always coming up with something.
Bobby Ray will live forever.
Yes, absolutely. But he's talking to him, and it's like, well, he's like, you got two options here. You can either get prosecuted.
Oh.
The funniest part of that is Matt Cardona takes a couple steps back, like, hey, whoa, hey, what? What's going on here? Or Santino says, yeah, you're going to the slammer. He's like, or you can sign on the dotted line here, and you can have a match. And he's like, well, yeah, sure, I'll work with you. Yeah, I don't want to go to. I don't.
Pico.
Yeah.
What you did to Pico?
I'll have a match with Pico. Yeah, sure. But then they mentioned another match. Now I'm going to kind of like jump forward here a little bit, where they do sign it on the dotted line, and they mention another match, and I didn't catch all the details for that, but it sounds like Matt's going to bring a tag team partner.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if this is someone who was helping him beat up PCO last week.
Well, I think that's kind of the inference we're getting here is whoever helped him do the dirty work is who we're seeing next week.
And so I was asking the audience during the live reaction. I'm like, okay, so I don't watch a lot of GCW. Like I kind of know who wrestles who there, but I don't know storylines and stables.
I wouldn't necessarily say they would cross over storylines with GCW.
Not necessarily that. Okay.
No.
Okay. It just like whoever was big and full of tattoos, but that's half of the roster.
That's a lot of wrestlers.
That's half the country of wrestlers.
It'd probably be easier to ID somebody without tattoos at this point.
Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, we'll see where that all leads to. But then Matt Cardona is going to have the match with PCO. I'm sure that's going to be at Emergence.
I would think so, but we'll see.
Yeah,
because I think he still needs to be cleared. I don't think he's been cleared yet.
Yeah, one of these Thursdays, they're going to have that other match that they were talking about with the extra people, like a multi-person tag.
Yeah.
It almost seems like an intergender match too. So like he's gonna bring someone to face Steph.
Could be.
And I'm very curious. I mean, if we're in a perfect world, it'd be Chelsea Green. But then that would be a whole separate storyline. Like why are you claiming ownership of her? And she would,
what are you doing here?
Beat the crap out of him. That would be interesting. But there's some stuff happening within the world of Matt Qdoba. We're going to keep an eye on that. Next we get Kaz and EY and Macklin all in a promo here. Macklin was kind of making fun of EY and Kaz because it's like, oh yeah, a couple of TNA veterans going at it again, kind of making fun of them, and
Yeah.
they didn't like that too much.
They did not.
Especially EY, you know, like don't make fun of me.
Don't make a fun.
No, you don't make a fun. But then it goes right into a promo of just Macklin, kind of sounded like he's calling out EY.
Yeah.
So this is something out of the realm of what we've been seeing with the whole X division and such. So
Yes.
could end up being like a pre-show match on Emergence, maybe.
Could be. Could
Something
be.
like that. Next, we got Tasha Steelz versus Gisele Shaw. Now, this is match number 3.
Yeah.
And,
Remember, they had the beef last week.
right. And so
And then copyrighted TNI. Santino's like, no shenanigans.
oh yeah,
This is the no shenanigans match.
Yeah, yeah. So it was surrounded
Official title.
by more referees. You know, kind of like a what do they call it? A lumberjill match, kind of, sorta, but not quite.
More lumberjack match, or but lumber zebra match.
Lumber. a zebra lumber. I don't know. Something like
timber match.
Yeah, timber.
Timber.
Oh, who was Timber? Was that Josh Alexander?
Josh Alexander.
Josh Alexander. Great stuff. But what did I was hoping Alisha would be back by now. She must be dealing with the cats. But what did you think of Gisele with match number 3, Tasha Steelz versus Gisele Shaw?
No, I thought it was a good match there. Like two top knockouts going at it. And obviously we saw Tasha try to resort to shenanigans that got stopped by the officials. And we saw Gisele come out on top here. And I think this is kind of, we've been waiting for the Gisele run. This feels like this could be more of that kind of going forward. We even have commenting here. And I think this would make sense. Like Gisele Shaw should cross over in the NXT and maybe feud with one of the women on the NXT roster. Like it feels like she could be one of those that could stick out, because it feels like they were having a push, then it slowed down. Now it feels like that push could be back, but we'll see. Because right now, obviously, a lot of breath is being given to Jordan and Ash.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why maybe Gisele got a little bit lost. But obviously with vignettes and the Gail Kim factor, like that's still what I'm not like. Gail was just used as a conduit to get her back on TV.
Yeah.
But I thought she played more of a part when she got on TV. But it's that was just to get there. But I'll just look for any reason to get Gail back on TV.
Yeah, right. Why not? It's not a bad thing. Whether she's in the ring or mentoring someone, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, maybe she gets involved in some big pivotal match with Gisele, and things go haywire, and then that results in a Gisele v. Gail feud to maybe build up to a big pay-per-view. Maybe.
Well, maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah, because she's on her own now, which is refreshing, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no shoulderaage as before. So, yeah, she's got to have to handle her own business.
Although I did see that next week, I'm going to quick bring this up just because I might forget later. One of the matches that they mentioned for next week it's another Ultimate X qualifier, I believe. and Jay Vidal is in there.
The return of Jay Vidal.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in a while.
It has been. It's been
good to
it's
see.
Been a bit.
I wonder if he's going to have any kind of interaction with Gisele.
We'll see. They weren't on the best terms at the end there.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. It wouldn't shock me if they. You always have to do something to acknowledge it.
Yeah. But yeah, so you know what? I circled the wrong. Gisele Shaw won this match, right?
Yeah, Gisele Shaw won. I've just gone on a 5-minute conversation about Gisele Shaw for a reason, Jay.
No, I'm looking at my notes and I accidentally circled Tasha Steelz for the win, and I was like,
for the shenanigans.
That's not.
You were circling shenanigans.
Yeah, my pen was doing the shenanigans. All right, so next we got the System backstage, standing over a. I wrote down a TKO'd Mike Santana because he wasn't moving.
He was out. He was out.
So sometimes they're like, oh, you got me. You got, they're flinching. They're holding a body part or something. No, he was catching 40 winks on the concrete, man. Out. And of course, security shows up. Good job, security. Good job.
Too little, too late, security.
Yeah, just a little. Time to get up the smelling salts for this one, because next up is the match of Who'da Thunk, Moose versus Santana. But the System goes out.
Supposed to be, yeah. And so the System goes out there. Lish grabs a microphone. No Santana tonight. He's not cleared. So it's like, oh. So she's starting this thing where she's, cutting a promo, which I love that they're featuring her more. Oh, yeah.
But, she's
the voice of the System.
She's got to start it out with like a snarky version of what Cody Rhodes does. It just gets you. You're like, oh, boo. So yeah, sorry, no Santana tonight. All of a sudden, the lights go out. What? In wrestling, the lights go out? What could that mean?
Sabu?
Here comes, yeah. Of course it's Sabu. I mean, Santana. Santana comes out. He's walking through the crowd. Crowd's getting all hyped up. He's holding random body parts, limping to the ring. It's like, oh boy, here we go. And so we actually do get Moose versus Santana. And what did you think of this match? This is pretty rough around the edges at times, but what did you think?
But it was the hard-hitting match you would expect from these guys, where you're going to get hard chops. Obviously, you got two of the top guys on the roster going at it, which we saw a couple matches like that tonight. But obviously, an injured Santana we just saw unconscious moments earlier. Right. So he was definitely it was a wounded animal that Moose was going after. And obviously, there were some shenanigans during the match that played a part as well. But Moose did get the win, though. Still a big win for Moose. It was maybe, but it's one of those things. If Santana wins that, after being knocked out, the whole System out there to try to interfere, if he beats all that, where's the payoff? Because you already got it.
Right.
Then if he's fully healthy, it'll be easy win for Mike Santana. Even though people will be like, oh, how can you have Mike Santana lose? Well, everything, the chips were stacked against him, J-Bone.
Yeah.
You can't win when you have all those odds against you.
No,
because
sometimes
we're not going in against all odds, but Mike Santana had against all odds.
Oh, absolutely. And it's twofold here. You gotta keep the system looking strong because they are the top heels in the company, or some of the top heels in the company. And Santana is on a journey to get to the top. Well, you ain't gonna win them all trying to get to the top. You're gonna fumble the ball a couple times. You're gonna go back. You're gonna watch tapes, and you're gonna get back out there, and you're gonna try again. And that's what he's doing here. But that's the thing about Mike Santana. He does not give up. He's gonna go back, and he's gonna work at this again. But now here's the only part that confused me a little. Well, I shouldn't say, well, for lack of better words, I'll say confused. It didn't really confuse me. It was good to see him. Joe Hendry comes out for the put rescue in quotes here. It's like I just scrape him up and put him in the wheelbarrow. But he gets out there and he starts cutting a promo on Moose. And it's like, oh, well, that's interesting. Because on Tuesday, you were doing this other stuff. So
he's a busy guy.
So there's a lot of I do love that there's a lot of things going on in the company where at a moment's notice, depending on who wrestles who, it can elevate, you get a win from so-and-so, it'll elevate you to a possible championship match. I mean, a lot of the stuff is being focused as far as titles on the line is the Ultimate X and the opportunity to get there. But I feel like this stuff with like Kaz and EY and Macklin is like one chapter over here. And then you got like Moose and Santana. And then now you got Joe Hendry thrown in here. And I feel like any one of those has potential in the future, depending on how it plays out, who wins what story they tell, can be a couple months from now, another, title contender.
No doubt.
All right, so yeah, Moose gets the win over Santana. Joe Hendry gets the rescue. For those of you who maybe came in a little later, we were talking about NXT earlier. We decided to cover tonight as opposed to on Tuesday. But next week, and I believe they did mention this on the show, on NXT, there's a number one contenders match, triple threat, Wes Lee versus Pete Dunne versus Joe Hendry, and the winner of that will face Ethan Page for the NXT championship at No Mercy.
How about that?
Yeah, that's going to be exciting. That is going to be exciting. I got to tell you, I got the email for the tickets going on sale for that NXT Chicago show.
Ooh,
that's tempting. You got CM Punk in there, and also, all this stuff with the WWE lately, and for a big show like that.
Could be convinced. He could be swayed.
I've never been to an NXT. I've been to several WWE shows before, but I've never been to an NXT show.
Bucket bone.
That's the thing, is they haven't toured much. Like, I think they came somewhere
years
downtown.
ago. Early NXT toured a decent amount. They probably hit Milwaukee at some point, I imagine. Year early. Like, I'm talking the touring brand, like when it was like Samoa Joe NXT.
Oh.
Black and gold.
Okay.
Because I went to some shows back then. Like
pre-pandemic.
Yes, pre-pandemic.
And they were playing smaller theater venues. Yeah.
Correct.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That version came to Milwaukee once or twice.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine. Because they hit kind of all the markets back then.
And I think they were playing the same place that like Ring of Honor would come to.
That's what I imagine. What, Turner? Or is that Turner? Yeah.
Turner Hall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is it's a nice little place. All right. Next we got a promo here from Jordan Grace.
Oh well, let's not forget, J-Bone, how that ended that match. Joe revealed a match next week. It'll be Moose and the JDC, formerly known as Dirty Dango. It's the Hardys, because we can't forget the Hardys, J-Bone.
Oh, the Hardys are coming. Yeah, Jeff is coming back next week. Yeah.
Yes.
And we haven't seen him since before the last big show.
Yes.
Up in Canada.
Pre-Canada.
Poor guy, he never gets to go to Canada. I don't know why, but
seems like there's a few wrestlers that never
these
international visits.
Yeah.
They're just injury prone, right?
They're just that. Right. Yeah. That's wrong time, wrong place.
Stop walking through ladders.
Right. So it's Moose and JDC versus the Hardys. Is that what got announced?
Correct. Well, Joe Hendry announced it. He's the matchmaker now.
He
shows up on Tuesdays on the USA Network, and now he's making matches.
Well, I mean, Santino's pretty busy, so he's trying to put all this stuff together with Matt Qdoba. So, all right, now
Jordan
Grace cutting a promo, very serious. Like not frothing mad, but just very serious. Tired of Ash by Elegance sticking her nose in the business. She was having a great match with Rosemary. And then I did love the footage of Ash by Elegance where she's trying to be sneaky. And the best is Daniel Spencer like turning around and what are you doing? And she's just posing with the stick with the pink kendo stick, like look what I did. Yeah, me. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, it's like so many people don't do that. They'll jump in, whack, 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 and take off. Never to be seen again. And yeah.
That's not elegance, J-Bone. That's not Ash by Elegance.
No. Elegance is you just.
Well, since we know they're tagging at Emergence, J-Bone, as Mayor's saying there.
The Spitfire. Yeah.
Spitfire. Because they want those tag titles, J-Bone.
This is why I didn't get some of that stuff down, is because I went through another pen. And I had to grab another pen and
you had a writing device issue.
I had some writing shenanigans happen. So
there you go.
Yeah. So, but yes, yeah, there was a promo with the Spitfire. Jody Threat. Jody Threat kind of has the attitude of like Jordan Grace does right now.
Mm-hmm.
She's tired of the interference. Whereas Jordan Grace is on the defending side of it. Spitfire is on the still chasing the title.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But that turns into one of the matches that I listed, the new matches that's listed for Emergence. So that's pretty exciting.
That is.
I like that. And, no titles on there. I mean, it could be a title match, but it's not, like whoever,
Correct.
Winner. It's not a winner takes all. It's just for bragging rights. And depending on who pins who, it could lead to a title, title match. We got another Ultimate X qualifier here. Ace Austin, the other half of ABC. Jason Hotch, and Rich Swann. Oh, sorry, Rich the Homie Swann.
Just Rich Homie. No the. Rich Homie Swann.
I thought it was the Homie.
No.
It flows better if there's
in J-Bone land.
Yeah. it's going to be the new.
But he's Rich Homie Swann.
This is like his rich little buddy. Of course, AJ's with him, but he's on commentary, which is if you blinked, you missed it. But honestly, AJ on commentary was some of the funniest parts of this match
AJ's
because of what happens. I'm really starting to appreciate AJ for who he is and what he does for the brand.
He's all about the brand, man.
Because he can get in the ring and he can absolutely destroy someone. Or he can sit on commentary and practically end up in Tom Hannafin's lap, and Tom's like, "Would you get off of me?" It's like,
Critical Sting. We might have to bring it back for one night only. I feel it's almost a decade too late to educate J-Bone on why Rich Homie Swann works. And a former staple of the show.
Oh, there you go.
The shot of the night by Critical Sting.
Does that still work? Oh, that was pretty popular when we started the show. I don't want to get canceled or anything.
That was... If we went with the full-on machine gun these days, maybe not. But the little pop. It's like the other guy. Have you? I always feel like I'm going down a bad path with you, J-Bone, because like you never see movies that are in like. But this isn't a hugely popular movie. This is more of like now a cult classic. But have you seen the other guys? Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell as cops?
No, I have not seen that one.
Well, that does not surprise me. But I figured that may have slipped in the J-Bone TV viewing. But it's a must-watch comedy.
Okay.
Must-watch comedy.
Must-watch. Okay.
But there's a moment there where the other cops are telling the Will Ferrell character to, what, you've never shot your gun in the office? A desk pop. You have to have your desk pop, which he then fires his gun at the office, and everyone freaks out. And he's like, "They were very convincing."
Oh, jeez.
So it's just the J-Bone desk pop, I like to call it.
I'll have to give that one a shot.
Just remember, J-Bone, aim for the bushes.
Aim for the bushes.
Aim for the bushes.
Sounds good. Sounds
if
good.
You know, you know.
Critical Sting. I single-handedly brought back the pistol shot. My life's work is finished.
There you go. There you go.
If you're watching this show that long and that's one of your highlights, I'm speechless. But happy, but speechless. All right.
Happy but speechless.
All right. All right. Now that we're done talking about what are we talking about? It's not a pronoun thing. It's just inserting what word where into what title here.
Well, it's a reference. It's a reference. It's a more curt, like as Critical Sting said, in the last 10 years reference.
Okay.
That would take too long to explain to you.
Gotcha. Yes.
But now you got Critical Sting reevaluating his life choices now. But let's get back to this Ultimate X qualifier, J-Bone.
Yes, this is This is the second qualifier of the show. This is one that was, also again very good. You look on paper who's in this match. You could point at one and be like, "Yep, that's the one." Especially because well, Chris Bay didn't win the other one. That means Ace Austin has to win this one, right? So, it's one of those things. I'll say it again. Never assume. This was I gotta say, it was refreshing because I have been waiting a long time.
Like the Mentos of matches.
Yes. I've been waiting a long time for Jason Hotch to have I don't know why I wrote down Jason Gotch.
You have a little Simon Gotch?
Something. I don't know. I can't stand that guy. I can't. He's like creepy.
He's a creepy bastard.
But Enzo's jokes about him are priceless. I'll say that. Jason Hotch having his moment in the sun in this match made me so happy. Wow. So you got Riley Osborne in the first one, and you got Jason Hotch in this one, and I was like, wow, we are really gonna change this. Looking at big picture here, the end result is the big Ultimate X match at Emergence, including Bailey, who is going to be defending his title. So, but to have some fresh faces in there that I think have been dying for an opportunity, and also, you get some, new faces in there just in general with, from NXT. It's really going to be a great match.
Oh yeah. And this was a long time coming, and I know I'm just going to feed in to it because J-Bone, right after he started showing up after the gut check co-victory, and we started seeing him because he showed up on TV pretty quickly after that, surprisingly.
He did.
But he was he was doing a great job selling stuff in his matches. So we were putting him over here on the TNI show very early in his TNA career. Saying, get this guy some more opportunity. And then obviously the good hand stuff. But I know I personally have been even saying, break him out. Let's get that singles run. But then we didn't see the good hands for a while. But then obviously coming in, his entrance, he was cutting the promo tonight. So that was good to see because normally it's always Skyler as the mouthpiece. Right. So once again, it's not an overnight thing. It's progression. But I think this was a great decision to give Jason Hotch the rub on this match. And as I alluded to last week and earlier tonight, this is kind of where I was saying it because the post-show photo op was with the militia and the good hands.
Oh, very cool.
The first thing Mr. Skyler says as I walk up is, oh, yeah. He's talking to Hotch. He's like, this guy putting you over on his podcast every week. So that's why I said, John Skyler, if you're listening out there, you did well tonight too. But
yes,
I know we've taken on Jason Hotch as kind of one of those guys to really try to push. But hey, maybe it will be the good hand. We'll see what happens in this match. But this could be the catapult, as you said earlier, for a big end of year run for the good hands into next year. So, but once again, good both ways for Jason Hotch individually and the good hands tonight, especially when we haven't seen them.
Absolutely, yeah. And by the way, nice picture. That is a great picture.
Double tag teams.
It is. No matter what happens between Hotch
look at Lish. Look at Lish.
Skyler.
Look at that. Look at that. That's the leader of the system right there. Someone said earlier.
Right?
You can just tell. She's always in game mode.
She's moving stuff around behind the scenes. Yeah, she absolutely is starting to be the person in front of the camera making stuff happen. And it's so refreshing to see it, because
that's somebody else. The TNI show likes our certain people we really push. And we've been saying for years to give Lish more to do. And then we saw her become like that Beulah style valet for Eddie for a while. But now stuff with the
ride or die. Right.
Yeah, but then the stuff with the system, like she's the mouthpiece of the system.
She's the only one with gold right now. Well, besides
and especially since then, since she is the only one with gold, they're embracing that. And she's like the only one now that has the platform to talk because she's a champion.
Right. So she comes out there, gets the crowd all, PO'd, and that's
like she's starting to almost be like even like a little bit like Vicky Guerrero heights, like where she has her couple like lines just to like grate on the audience. Like instant heat.
Yeah.
Go with the heavy Boston accent, lay it on a little thick.
Right. And it's simple things like that go a long way with a character. And then it's
all character work with Lish.
Right. You take your handful of lines that you start out with. You start out with your one hot line, and then it's she's evolving from there, and it's great to see, She went from screaming at Eddie drunk at a wedding, what are you doing, to like. Almost pseudo running a crew now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, good stuff. We're very excited for this. Whether they're winning or losing, they look like $1 million.
Not as excited as Santino was to see Matt Cardona again.
Oh yeah. And we touched on this earlier. Matt Cardona does sign the contract, and he keeps telling Santino, he's like, you can trust me. But we know in wrestling, just DTA, don't trust anyone.
Yeah, but it's down the road because next week it will be like he'll face PCO later, but it will be as long as he and his partners of his choosing face PCO and two partners of his choosing next week.
Right. Yeah,
he gave him a stipulation.
That's going to be interesting to see who shows up for that. I'm curious.
Yeah.
So and then they do the slow zoom in on Santino at the end of the conversation after Matt exits stage left or whatever. And Santino's like, yeah, Santino 2, Matt Qdoba, nothing. It's
zero.
Like, you zero. You just keep thinking that, Santino. You keep thinking that.
He's a happy guy.
He's
always positive.
He's
got like, the power of positivity.
I am really making stuff happen. Are you? We'll let you think you are, sir. But he's a gem. He's an absolute gem. Main event time. And this was, especially after what happened last week, I was super excited for this main event. Speaking of main event.
Oh, yeah.
Daniel
the main event presence
in the
himself.
Chat.
There he is.
And yes, I know he wasn't in the main event, but very, very cool to see Paige in the main event. I feel like this might have been like her first
and that
main event.
It's almost interesting. Hey, and speaking of main events, we get the main event TNI knockout back. Hey-o. But I think it's a valid point you just brought up, J-Bone, because I thought this was noticeable as well when the match happened, and then obviously on TV tonight, this did feel like giving like Paige like a really prime match. It was like, oh, interesting, Paige is coming out for this match.
Yeah.
So, but obviously a big one, as we see happen here, and we can get Daniel Spencer's opinion as we get into it. But this is now, Alisha, I don't know if you heard it while you were away, but we talked about during the news segment, but obviously we get the main event here for the title. Nic defending against the former champion Josh. They have beef from Slammiversary. And we already know there's a rematch because this is a 30-minute time limit draw.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on this 30-minute exhibition?
Well, they really took each other to task, didn't they? I feel like both were highly disappointed at the ending and probably could have gone longer than the time.
5 more minutes.
5 more minutes. But alas.
Which we saw recently. Daniel Spencer himself did a 5 more minutes. Was it in Philadelphia? I don't remember the match. There was a time limit draw match, but it was like a short match, like a TV. Oh, it was the Knockouts match. That was maybe only like a 10-minute time limit, and then he added the 5.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yep, she deserved the opportunity and did a great job too.
Right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Spitfire. Yeah, Jody versus Danny says critical. Yeah, 10-minute challenge. Yeah.
So yeah, the 5 minutes is always in the back pocket, and it seemed like we almost got the 5 minutes.
Almost.
But then Josh didn't want the 5 minutes, and the ultimate heel move. He acts like he wanted them, and then as soon as he was about to get them, take a beeline out of there.
We're doing this on my time.
Which is
Olivia was not impressed.
Oh, Olivia's not impressed.
Look at the mug
on her face.
I was gonna say, look at the mug on Olivia. She's just like, oh, we're at the main event now. Ugh. That last 5 minutes. Ugh.
But now it'll be an hour. So Josh is now signed up. Although he's done it before. Josh has done the hour-long matches. So he's the Iron Man is not something he's not used to. But this one, and this is what we wanted here. Like when Nick got the title, he's gonna be a fighting champion. He was always renowned for his work rate over the years. And now what an opportunity. TV 30-minute match, going to be followed up by an hour match.
Oh, man.
How about that?
Wow.
Yeah.
My God, Olivia.
Well, speaking of Miss Olivia right now, Mayor wants to know, where is Valentino?
Well, Miss Olivia has claimed the living room, so Bub is in the doorway, staring longingly.
Daggers. Oh. If you thought she had a scowl on her face, look, Valentino is hate in his eyes right now.
He misses the people, so.
Well, give him a hug later and let him know we love him.
But J-Bone, speaking of love, did you love this match? What was your opinion on the main event here and our world champion Nic Nemeth and Josh?
It was really exciting to see this match. We've seen Josh do these long matches before, and we know how good he is. But now there's a twist on this, and he's throwing in all these subtle little heel things like that he wouldn't even think about doing before. And it's like, and as fans, we still gotta be like reminded, be like, oh crap, we're booing this guy. Like he's doing
he
stuff
didn't
like,
change. You changed, J-Bone.
Oh,
I mean, listen to Josh.
Right.
He's still the same Josh.
Oh, of course he is. Yes, of course. Yes. we're just a bunch of silly goofballs. But yeah, just the subtle little yeah, well that's pretty extreme. The nut kicker, yeah.
Nut kicker Alexander.
Oh, that's got a ring to it. There's your next T-shirt. Nut kicker, yes, just in time for the
but instead of the nutcracker, it's like Josh Alexander as a nutcracker.
Yeah, yeah, with one leg up, ready to
Yeah.
Yeah, just in time for the holidays, folks. Get your Josh Alexander nut kicker T-shirt.
That sounds like a T-shirt.
It does.
Josh, Get to work.
Get on that.
Although, you know what? I'll give credit.
Oh.
Like, the wrestling business has evolved over the years. But what was it? Was it during the pandemic where like every wrestling company just did nut shots for finishes for what felt like 6 months? And I'm glad it's just like everything else. Moderation is key.
Right.
Just don't do but there was a while where it felt like every match was ending that way.
Yeah.
Oh, so Daniel Spencer confirming, because I'm sure that'll be the main event, that he will be the Iron Ref for that match.
Oof.
Because that is
Yeah.
super long, man.
Yeah.
That's going to be, and honestly, Critical Sting probably knows off the top of his head, but for reference, because I know there's been the Iron Woman, some Iron Man matches. I know you did the one with TJP, the one I believe on BTI. But have you been part of all the Iron Man and Woman matches of recent memory? Trying to think if any of the other refs have gotten that task, because that is a challenge. Not that both Paige and Frank can't handle it, but that is asking a lot. That's a long time to be out there.
Yeah. Every 5 minutes, you're whispering to the guys, "Hey, rest hold."
Well, that's a lot, man. To keep a crowd engaged for an hour, that is a task.
We'll see when they're up to
that was
it.
Brian Hebner.
Oh wow.
Did that one. So that was a while back. That one.
Yeah.
That was a couple of years now.
It was. Yeah. TJ.
The
yeah,
BTI
TJ
crossover angle, where
Right.
it ended on the main show.
That's right. It did. Yeah. Started and then Wow.
Oh, there you go. Alexander Speedball, which was in the same venue in Louisville.
Wow. Yeah, that was a classic. That really was. In fact, that almost became a thing that they wanted to tour that thing around.
Yes, I remember that. That.
So, but yeah, amazing match, time limit draw. I feel like, and we've talked about this a little bit. Nic Nemeth, I got to quick give him a compliment here. He always looks like $1 million.
Oh yeah,
really did well. Pacing this match out. But Josh Alexander, I really feel like he's coming into his heel character. Because the first
it's been
few weeks,
slow.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was one of the biggest baby faces in the company. So
Right.
this is not going to be an overnight thing. But it was right to start it with Joe, who's got all the buzz right now to help turn you. But you have to kind of hit it with an exclamation point a few times to really drive it home.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then the difference. Yeah, it wasn't an Iron Man. It was just a 60-minute time limit. It actually ended at 59:52.
Oh, okay.
Close enough.
Right? You missed it by a few,
Yeah, that wasn't the stipulation. It just had a long time frame.
So, yeah.
Which is, you got to, because I feel like time we don't pay attention to time limits or even hear the time limits. Because it felt like forever there was like technically a built-in like 60-minute time limit, like 30 for your mid-card matches, and then like your main event matches will always get 60 minutes. But now for TV, there is that built-in, like there might only be a 10-minute time frame, 20-minute time frame.
Right. So, but that is the show. Good mix of stuff on the show. I've really enjoyed this build for Emergence because it's got a little bit of everything. You got so much happening with the knockouts. The X Division is on fire. We're seeing new faces show up and some old ones come back, like the Good Hands. We got the NXT people showing up, some winning, some losing spots. Yeah, it's just great. And then you got the main event scene where where we know what the main event is, but you've got all this little underlying stuff like just ready to percolate as soon as that's done. You got Moose, who's trying to get back on top. You got Macklin keeps talking about that title. Mike Santana wants a title shot.
It's a crowded field.
It is. And I feel like it's like the first time that there's like a lot of little things going on and they all have the potential to go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, any other thoughts, guys?
Oh,
I think you said it.
Yeah, no, it's coming together. It's coming together. And the Emergence is building up. We pretty much know half the card. We'll see, because we already know we got the Iron Man confirmed. We got the Ultimate X. It feels like it will be maybe add a couple more matches based on what we're seeing. We'll see kind of what we get next week. It feels like, or maybe even over the next couple days. Maybe we'll hear some more stuff kind of coming together. But this was another very brisk show that flew by. Even with a 30-minute match, and Armand here, who was at the show, saying perfectly scripted, even being there. Nobody at live events wants to draw being there live, but it made total sense here. And that's something that's always the risk. And that's the same thing with like an Iron Man match. When you know you're going into something that long, you really gotta pace that right. You gotta tell the story the right way. But no, I thought they did a great job here, and that bodes well, obviously, for the next one. And we know Josh has done it plenty. But yeah, well, what are your final thoughts on this one, Alisha?
I think you guys both said it best. Build up to the next big show seems to be going to par with everything. Everyone's looking really good. Emergence. So yeah, basically it's looking good. Looking sharp.
There you go. And hey, you get the return next week of Dempsey.
Oh,
against Gresham.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of just out of nowhere, but I am not complaining. That should be an amazing match.
Yeah, totally.
And we'll be like, what 70s rock band frontman does he look like this week?
Right.
Did we do a poll about that?
No, but we should.
We should have. We still can.
Is he Plant? Is he Daltrey? Who is he?
Right.
I said Plant originally, but the more I think about it, it's Daltrey.
Yeah, there's a little bit of both.
That sounds like a topic for the jacked up jukebox.
Oh, that's gonna. There's a lot of news lately I want to talk about. I think that's going to be coming back pretty soon, so keep an eye out for that. And speaking of, just we're going to wrap this up in a minute, but I got this in the mail the other day, so I wanted to show you guys.
Oh,
this is the Ring of Honor. This is the Briscoes.
Oh, there you go.
Them
boys.
Yeah, them boys. And I tell you, it's a great set. It's from yes, I know it's from the AEW vault, but just going down memory lane and the limited time that we did have them boys in TNA or Impact at the time, and doing the tag team, getting the tag team titles, going up against was it Motor City? Did they face Motor City Machine Guns? I know they faced the Good Brothers.
Yeah,
I don't recall.
Probably did.
I think they got the titles from. What was the one that it was EY and
Violent by Design.
But yeah, Violent by Design. That's who they got the titles from, and then they lost them shortly thereafter. But man,
now Daniel's still in the chat. Am I crazy? I just remember them being very over in Kentucky as well at that venue. I wonder if that's where they won the titles. They may have won them there. Because what was there? Under Siege? Would that have been Under Siege?
It was Under Siege, yeah.
Like I said, it all blends, so it's a lot of times for me. It's like I can pinpoint it to a time frame. Venue and town. Maybe not as
Yeah.
much so.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of good memories. I just wanted to share that with you guys.
I missed it. What's the question? No. I was thinking because you mentioned doing the that other match in Louisville, and I was wondering because he just showed the Briscoes action figure when the Briscoes won the titles. Was that also in Louisville? Because I feel like I know they definitely wrestled there and had a huge response there, or maybe that may have been more like maybe a debut or something. I mean, for some reason I'm linking the Briscoe, so I feel like they did something particular there. Oh, it was Newport, Kentucky. Okay,
There
it was
you
the
go.
other venue in Kentucky. It wasn't
Okay.
Louisville. It was Newport. So I had the state right, but like I said, venue and
Wow.
town not right.
That is impressive.
I thought it was Kentucky, but it's just the wrong one. The greater
Well-
Cincinnati, Kentucky.
By way of Baltimore. I don't know.
Oh, by way of well, by way of Sandy Fork.
Yeah.
They do have similar looks. I think that's why I kind of put them together.
There you go. So that's going to do it for this. Thank you, everyone, for including all your thoughts on all the hot topics tonight during the show and the chat. You folks know what to do on your way out of here. Make sure you're smashing that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications. Why? So that you know when more of our content hits your screen. Please do us a huge favor. Check out the links in the description. Check out manscaped.com, our sponsor, and you can get yourself 20% off using code TNI and free shipping. One of the best deals in town. So take care, folks. We'll see you down the road real soon.